a creative one. I'm on vacation from marriage. It's great to come home and know I don't have to go back to work for more than a week. I'm taking a week of annual leave. I'd appreciate more attention than that, but maybe I can take a few days off from work myself. We could take a short trip. Jacob, we're not going on a short trip. I'm going on a long trip. What are you talking about? Honey, I'm not just taking a week off from work. I'm taking a week off from our marriage, too. Don't worry, you can do whatever you want with whoever you want while I'm gone. I won't hold a grudge against you, just like you won't hold a grudge against me for what I do. I beg your pardon, Jacob. When we first got married, I didn't realize how much marriage was like a full-time job. I realized that a wife had to be reliable, able to do her job properly, and most of all, make her boss happy. Our home life began to resemble an organized day at the office. One day, I wondered whether workplaces provide annual vacations so that employees can take some time off from they come back from their jobs with responsibilities, and are expected to come back rested and ready to get back to work. I started wondering why it couldn't be the same for marriage. Let's face it, our marriage has become a bit outdated, boring, and routine lately, especially in bed. I've almost forgotten what pleasure is. I've come to the conclusion that we both need a break from each other to get our juices flowing again. We need a break from each other to get our juices flowing again. Think about it. You'll realize I'm right. You'll appreciate what I'm doing. You'll be glad. You'll see you're out of your mind. Mia, I never agreed to this when we were married, let alone have it dumped on me without warning. I don't know what makes you think I'm not going to agree to your bizarre plan, but I'm not going to stop it either. She grinned. I don't need your permission. Relax. I'm not leaving you. It's just that after being a faithful, hard-working partner in our marriage, I deserve some rest. So do you. I didn't tell you before, so you couldn't stop me. My tickets and hotel fees are non-refundable. It's refundable, and you hate to waste money. Look, I have to go out and buy swimsuits for my trip. We're going to sunny Jamaica. Who's we? My boyfriend and me. You have a boyfriend? Who is he? You don't need to know. You could do something stupid like tell his wife. Look, find yourself a pretty girl to play with while I'm gone. Just make sure you get rid of her before I get back. I'm not leaving for good. I value our marriage, and you. We're taking a week's vacation together. We'll both be happy to see each other, and our marriage will be restored. You'll see I'm right. I forbid you to go. This is my final word on the matter. Jacob, don't make this any harder than it has to be. I was afraid you wouldn't like it, so I've already transferred most of our money to an account in my name. Your money will last a little more. I was given a credit card in my name only, so you couldn't leave me in Jamaica by canceling our joint cards while I'm shopping. It's time to calm down and accept what's about to happen. The sooner you start adjusting to the idea, the more comfortable you'll be with it. You'll probably want to do it again, Jacob. After I'm done shopping, we'll have a few hours before I leave. I'd like us both to get naked and make love on a happy journey for the ages. I don't want you to forget what it will be like when I get back. I love you. She left. Jacob wasn't home when she returned, which didn't surprise her. You didn't want to make love to me. Goodbye, so you're out of luck. I'll be making love to my lover soon. I just hope I can go to the beach while we're there. A week later, hello, darling. I'm home. Where is he? I guess I should have checked the garage to see if his car was there. She went to look in the garage but couldn't find his car. She looked around the living room and kitchen but didn't see anything out of the ordinary. She went upstairs as she had feared. Most of his things were gone. He was throwing a tantrum. I hope he registers to file for divorce. Once he finds out how much he'll lose in the divorce, he'll be back on his knees. The sex with my boyfriend was good, but I missed it. Some of the things I could only do with my husband's body. First, I'll make Jacob apologize, and then I'll forgive him. I'll take him to bed, and we'll make love. Then things will go back to normal. As she put her things away and got ready for bed, Mia was sure Jacob would be back soon. The trip had tired her out, and she fell asleep easily when she woke up. The next morning, she stretched in bed for a moment and forgot about him. There was no sign of him. Oh well, he'd be back soon enough. She went downstairs and quickly noticed that the coffee she liked to wake up to wasn't ready, as it always had been since she and Jacob had gotten married. She was almost late for work. She was starting to get angry at her uncooperative husband on the way to work. She tried to call Jacob's cell phone and got a number not in service message. He sounds like he wants to play around. Well, I can play nasty too. I'll make him pay for his stubbornness. Mia hung up the phone and dialed his office number. Hello, Mr. Sherman's office. What can I do for you? Hi, Sarah. This is Jacob's wife. May I speak to my husband, please? I'm so sorry, Mrs. Sherman, he's not here. Well, can you tell me when he'll be back? I'm sorry, but we're not allowed to give out that kind of information. You've never had a problem. I was told to call before, but why is that now a policy? The secretary's attitude was clear in her answer. She said Mr. Sherman told her to give you this if you called. Silly me. Maybe Jacob has found someone else to sleep with, and it takes him a little longer to make me jealous by not telling me about his annual vacation. I thought he'd take a while to bond with someone new, but I was probably wrong. He probably has. I decided to go along with this annual leave from marriage too. It's good for him. It makes us equal, and should help him get over his anger. Mia's consolation didn't last long. She went to use her credit card at the restaurant but was turned down. The at the moment would no longer dispense her money. She went to the bank to find out that there was no longer much money in her personal account. Mia was informed that she had a minimum balance in her account. Mia asked how the money could have been taken without her authorization. She was told that according to the bank records, she had given her written authorization. The clerk showed her documents giving her husband access to her new accounts, as well as a copy of a driver's license belonging to a woman called Mia Sherman. Mia was not like that, and showed her driver's license. Mia was told to contact the police and/or sue if it was fake and fraudulent. How could he do this to me? She went to the police and reported him for theft by fraud, identity theft, and forging her signature. They took her information and asked her where she thought her husband and his accomplice might have gone. Mia gave them some tips. They gave her some tips on who to contact and where he might live. The police and FBI investigated, but they didn't have any good leads. She couldn't afford to hire a lawyer or private investigator, so she called every relative and friend of Jacob's she knew. The answer was the same for everyone. She contacted, I had no idea where he is, and I wouldn't tell you if I did. I was used by my husband in exchange for making love in Jamaica. There is no way I can live in this house and pay all the bills by myself if he doesn't come back soon. She thought about selling the house, but couldn't because the house was in their names. She couldn't file for divorce because he wasn't gone long enough. She was told that she could go through the normal divorce channels, but in the meantime she would lose the house. Mia filed for bankruptcy to get a fresh start. It was on the day of the move when Mia received the letter. Mia, you were convinced that I had no choice but to wait for you to finish your novel and welcome you back. I think you've forgotten what I did for a living. I was a defense attorney for several counterfeiters. Over the years, I've met lots of talented counterfeiters who also had excellent forgery skills. In particular, I remember one woman who served her time. I tracked her down and asked her to help me. At first, she thought I was trying to trap her to prove she was still committing crimes. Once I'd calmed her down, she told me her story about how difficult it was for an ex-convict to make a living. She was a convicted criminal trying to make an honest living. She was destitute and was going to either go back to crime or start stealing. I was surprised that she agreed to help me if I would fulfill her one condition. I must take her with me when I left and create a new identity. It only took me one night in bed with her to realize how great it would be. She was able to create a driver's license with all your information. She also took your picture. Then she went to the bank and forged your signature. It matched so closely that no one questioned it. No one we dealt with at the bank knew you personally, so it didn't matter that she didn't look like you. She looked like she did on her fake ID, and that was all that mattered. My plan was to respond to your annual 1-week vacation with my own 1-week vacation. I was going to take a year off from the marriage after I gave you your money back, but I couldn't understand how you could treat me like that. The day you left, I realized I'd had enough. I've spent some time with my girlfriend and I've decided to forego a sabbatical or divorce. In keeping with your analogy of marriage being like a job, I'm going to say goodbye to you.